Okay, before I start this one, I've got to say this reeks of a setup by Don from one of his sock puppet channels, and he sets up his own straw man, leaving a comment on his video from an account that he runs, and then knocks him down. It's particularly due to this comment on the video that he slaps Dark Knight down. Dark Knight then leaves a comment praising Don, and I'll leave it on the screen. There it is. Check it out for yourself. Seems a bit fishy to me. But anyway, let's get started.
Well, Dark Knight, here's what Don says to ye. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm not here to explain to you why you should or should not believe any of the stories that you've proposed that I explained to you. My job is neither to proselytize nor defend.
So it's not your job to teach this to anyone, huh, Don? I've got someone here that might disagree with that. Guy's name is Jesus in the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verses 18 to 20. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I've commanded. And surely I am with you always to the very end of age." So it seems Jesus thinks that it is your job to do just that, Don. Are you going to tell Jesus he's wrong?
They're looking to point out an illogic in my position, and frankly, I don't care.
Wow. So Don's just admitted he doesn't care if he's illogical, even though in his previous video he said, "Hey, I'm a logical guy." I'll put that comment up now.
I think that I'm a logical, critical thinker. I think that I'm a logical, critical thinker. I think that I'm a logical, critical thinker. I think that I'm a logical, critical thinker.
So there you go. He's a logical guy who doesn't care if he's logical. Yeah, go figure, man.
To that end, many of the canards, many of the strawmen and red herrings thrown out by non-believers.
Okay, you say using these, pieces of information that are in the Bible are straw men and red herrings. I'm sorry, Don. All your debate experience, you certainly didn't learn what those logical fallacies are. Straw man is taking something someone doesn't hold. All of those comments come from the Bible. They are from the Bible. That is not a straw man.
Revolve around their inability to accept that there are many things in the Bible which are allegorical.
Allegory. Now, I'm glad you brought this up because this is going to be a long bit of smacking around you're going to cop here, Don. Now, Christians and Muslims and all faiths really use this tactic in defending their holy scriptures. But how to exactly assess what is truth and what is allegory in them? Because these texts certainly don't explain, well, this is an allegory and this is, the truth. So tell me, and all the other Christians out there, if this passage is an allegory, Don. Mark 16:18. They will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. They will place their hands on sick people, and they will get well. So what happened to this guy? And if these passages are correct and not allegory, then did this snake handling guy just not have enough faith? Is that the problem there? Do you have enough faith to try this, Don? To get bitten by a deadly snake or drink poison? Or is it just an allegory? How are you supposed to know? It's obvious that most Christians in this circumstance adhere to observed reality. They don't take the passage literally. There's a small number that do take it literally. Well, I don't think they drink poison, but they do play with snakes. It's funny that, wonder why most Christians aren't out there drinking poison and handling deadly snakes. I think it's pretty obvious why. And that was a quote from Jesus, don't forget. So here's another one that Christians don't seem to take too seriously. Matthew 18:8. If your hand or your foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better to enter life maimed or crippled than to have 2 hands and 2 feet and to be thrown into eternal fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to enter life with one eye than have two eyes and be thrown into the fire of hell. If you believe the Bible, both of those quotes come directly from Jesus himself. Directly as instructions. They're not part of any greater narrative, and they are instructive. So Jesus is telling his disciples what to do. Yet I don't know one Christian that does what Jesus instructs there. Not one. And that's the main problem I have with religious people. They're quite happy to force others, to adhere to their religious doctrines. For example, with regards to forced prayer in schools, teaching of their mythology in schools exclusively, abortions, about pornography, alcohol, hating gays, women's rights, etc. And then they don't even follow the teachings of their own prophet. There's so many more examples of this. Another one is the rich man getting into heaven. A camel can pass through a needle more easily than that. And Jesus also said, leave no thought for the morrow. These are things that the Christians just ignore, and these are direct teachings of Jesus. Yet all this other stuff they want to enforce. Kind of hypocritical, I could go on with more, but I think I've made my point.
To hear the truth about all sorts of things, not just religion, and watch them squander that truth.
The truth? So you've got the truth, is it? Muslims will tell me about the truth of Islam. Hindus will tell me about the truth of Hinduism, and how the Bhagavad Gita, how that is literally true. They believe that. You simply assume Christianity is true, but there's no evidence supporting that.
So I'm not going to get in a debate about whether or not animals talk in the Bible.
Okay, on this, there is no debate. It does say in the Bible that these animals talked. It says it in the book of Genesis that a snake talks, and the book of Judges that a donkey talks. There's no debate. It's in there.
I'm not going to debate whether God was murdering women and babies for fun.
Again, there is no debate that God killed animals and babies for fun in the Bible. Look at the book of Job. That's exactly what he did. He was having a game with the devil. He killed all Job's children and killed all his livestock. But just for the hell of it, just for fun. Yeah, I agree totally here that not all Christians believe the Bible, is literally 100% true. And what's that called? It's called cherry picking. And that's exactly what you're doing here, Don. And all Christians do it. All followers of all faiths do these things. But, creationists, for example, they take certain verses literally, but I don't see them out there killing disobedient children, like in Deuteronomy 21, 18 to 21. People no longer keep slaves, which it says is perfectly fine in some parts of the Bible. That Jesus never rebuked as well, by the way. So all you're doing is cherry picking, saying, look, I like these bits, that's what I believe. The rest of it is all allegory. It's all, nonsense. I don't need to believe that. Cherry picking.
I think that those who try end up falling into the proverbial trap of the non-believer who wants to paint them into an illogical corner from which the only way out is either that God doesn't exist, or if God exists, he's a God you wouldn't want to follow or believe in the first place.
Painting into an illogical corner. So why believe it then? See, the reason you have a problem with this is that you understand that the Bible isn't true, and you just can't admit it. You just want to be a Christian.
I suggest that you get on the path of truth-seeking.
Truth-seeking? What does this mean? This is a nothing statement. All you're doing is finding ways to cherry-pick, out the good bits and ignore all the horrible, fucked up things and all the retarded nonsense that can't happen that's included in the Bible. That's all you're doing. That's not truth-seeking. It's cherry-picking.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
So what have we seen here? Don contradicting himself, straw-manning, appeals to authority, cherry-picking, just about every logical fallacy in the book. And that's what you need to believe this stuff. This is what you need to be a Christian or member of any religion, Believe in Xenu and that Thetans flew here on spacecraft that were shaped like Boeing 707s. That's just what you do. You cherry pick and you do it with your trading, You know how bad your results are. You know how much money you've got. out of trading, none, and you know, yet you keep looking at the good trades. It's a story of your life, and observed reality will catch up with you one day, man. I can assure you, you can't get away from it. So that's it, folks. Hopefully this clears everything up, and there will be no need to carry on with any more of this nonsense. But hey, you never know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.